I'm live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our video. Today is day 100 and 111 of the plan, I believe. So 111, that's pretty cool. Yesterday I read 7 chapters of the Bible, I believe, and so today probably follow suit. I'll read a decent amount. I'm not sure if it'd be 7, but it'll probably be around 5 or 6 chapters I read today. And so let's get started. Chapter 28. A hymn to wisdom. Surely there is a mine for silver, and a place where gold is refined. Iron is taken from the ground, copper is melted from ore. A miner puts an end to the darkness, he probes the deepest cities. For ore in gloomy darkness, he cuts a shaft far from human habitation, in a place unknown to talk to those above. Suspended far above from people and the miners swing back and forth. Food may come from the earth, but below the surface of the earth is transformed by fire. Its rocks are sources of lapis lazuli, containing flecks of gold. No bird of prey knows the path, no falcon eye has seen it. Proud beast has never walked on it, no lions ever proud over it. The miner uses a flint tool and turns over from the root of the mountains. He gets channels in the rocks, and his eyes spot the treasures that he dams the streams of flowing so that he may bring light until it's hidden. But there can be wisdom found where no one's understanding is located. No one can know its value since it cannot be found in the land of the living. The oceans that say, "It's not me," while the sea declares, "I don't have it." Gold cannot exchange for it, and silver cannot weigh it out for its price. Wisdom cannot be valued for the gold offerings, precious onyx, lapis lazuli. Gold and glass do not compare with it, and articles of fine gold cannot be exchanged for it. Coral and quartz are not worth mentioning. The price of wisdom is beyond pearls. Harvest from Kush cannot compare with it, cannot be valued in pure gold. Where does the wisdom come from when its understanding located? It is hidden from the eyes and every living thing. You can see it from the birds of the sky, abandoned and doth say, but we have heard news of it with our ears, but God understands the way of wisdom, and he knows its location, for he looks to the end of the earth and sees everything under the heavens. When God fixed the way of the wind and distributed the water by measure, and established the limit for the rain path of the lighting, he considered wisdom and evaluated it. He established it and examined it. He said to mankind, "The fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and turn to evil is understanding." Chapter 29. Job's final claim of innocence. Job continues to discourse, saying, "If only I could be as in months gone by, the day when God watches over me, when his lamp shone above my head, as I walk through darkness by his light. I would be as I was in the days of my youth, when God's friendship rested on my tail, and the Almighty was still with me, my children were around me, and my feet were being encouraged, and the rock poured out streams of oil for me. And I went to the city gate and took my seat in the town square. The young men saw me and withdrew, while older men took their feet. Sea officials stopped talking and covered their mouths with their hands. No one's voices were hushed, and their tongues stuck to the roof of their mouths. When they heard me, they blessed me. And they saw me, they spoke of me. For I rescued the poor who cried out for help, and the fatherless child who had not known to support him. The dying blessed me, and I made the widow's heart rejoice, and clothed myself in righteousness and enveloped me. My decisions are like a robe and a turban, and my was eyes to the blind, feet to the lame. As a father to the needy, and examined the case of a stranger, I shattered the fangs of unjust, and snatched a prey from his teeth. So I thought, I'll die in my own nest, and multiply in days of sin. My roots have access to water, and the dew will rest in the branches all night. My whole being will be refreshed within me, and my bow will be renewed in my hand. Men listened to me with expectation, waiting silently for my advice. After a word from me, they did not speak again. The speech settled on them like dew, and they waited for me as the rain, and opened their mouths as spring showers. I smiled at them. They couldn't believe it. You heard that, right? My phone, on its own, just stopped recording. Weird. Anyways. Okay. Let's see if it'll work now. There it goes. Okay. When I went to the city gate and took my seat in town square, the young men saw me and their aldermen stood at the feet. City officials stopped talking, covered their mouths, their hands, nose, and voices hushed. Tongues like truth, mouse. My hope being refreshed within me, my bow renewed my hand, my listened to expectation after waiting for silence for my advice. Afterward, they did not speak again my speech. I don't know what to do. Led from his rain, opened their mouths and spring showers. I smiled at them, they couldn't believe it. They were thrilled at the light of my countenance as I directed the course and presented as chief. I lived as a king among his troops, like one who comforts those who mourn. To the third chapter for today. And now they mock me with men younger than I am, whose fathers I would have refused to put with my sheepdogs that strength their hands with vigor. I let them masticate from poverty and hunger. They gnawed at the dry land, the desolate wasteland at night. They plucked mallow among the shrubs and the roots of the bone tree where the food. They had banished from human society. People shouted at them that they were thieves. They lived in the slopes of the wadis, among the rocks and the holes of the ground. They buried among shrubs and huddled beneath thistles. Foolish men without even a name, they are forced to leave the land. Now, mocked by their songs, I become an object of scorn to them. They despise me and keep their distance from me. But they not hesitate to spit in my face because God has loosened my bowstring and oppressed me. They have cast or strained my presence to rabble rise up. They trap my feet and construct their siege ramps against me. They tear up my path and contribute to my destruction. Without anyone to help them, they advance through the gaping breach. They keep rolling through the ruins. Terrors turned loose against me. They didn't chase my dignity away like the wind. In my prosperity is passed like a cloud. Now my life is poured out before me, and days of suffering siege me. Night pierces my bones, but gnawing pains that never rest. My clothing is distorted to the great forest. He chokes me by the neck, and my garment. He throws me into the mud, and I become like dust and ashes. I cry out for you for help, but you do not answer me. When I stand up, you merely look at me. You turn against me with cruelty. You grasp me with your strong hand, lifting me up in the wind, make me ride it. You scatter me in the storm. Yes, I know that you will lead me to death. Place of points for all who live. No one would stretch out his hand against a ruined person. When he cries out for help because of his distress, I are not left for those who had fallen on hard times. As my soul not grieved for needy, but when I hoped for good, evil came. When I looked for light, darkness came. I'm turning within, I cannot rest. Days of suffering confront me. I walked in the lightning, but my son, I stood in the assembly and cried out for help. I become the brother of jackals and companion of ostriches. My skin blackens and flakes off. My bones burn with fever. My lyre is used for mourning, my flute for sound of weeping. Chapter 31, third chapter. I've read 3 chapters, and so this is the 4th chapter I'm reading. I made a covenant with my eyes. How could I look at a young woman for a portion of what I have from God above, or inheritance from the Almighty on high? Disaster comes to unjust and misfortune. It's evildoers. Must he see my ways and number all my steps? I've walked in falsehood, or my foot is rushed to deceit. Let God weigh on me accurate scales. He'll recognize my integrity. If my step is turned away, my heart's followed eyes or impurity, stained hands, let someone else eat what I have sown, let my crops be uprooted. My heart has gone astray over a woman. If I lurked over a neighbor's door, let my wife grind grain for another man, let another man sleep with her, for that would be a disgrace, and it would be an iniquity, deserving of punishment. For as fire consumes to abandon, it destroyed my entire harvest. If I had dismayed the case and made off my servants, and then made complaint against me, what can I do when God stands as judge? How should I answer him when he calls to me to account? Did not the one who made me in the womb also make them? Did not the same God form spells from the womb? I refuse the wishes of the poor. Let the widow's eyes go blind. If I eat a few crumbs alone without letting my fathers eat any of it, for from my youth I raised him up as father, and since the day I was born I guided the widow. I've seen anyone dying for lack of clothing, or a needy person without a cloak. If you do not bless me while warming himself with the fleece for my sheep, if I ever cast my blood against the fatherless child, when I saw the support in the city gate, let my shoulder blade fall from my army pulled from its socket for disaster. God terrifies me because of his majesty. I cannot do these things. I have placed my confidence in gold or called fine dust my trust. I rejoice because the wealth is great, or because my own hand has acquired so much. If I gaze the sun when it's shining, with the moon moving in splendor, so that the heart will secretly entice, and I threw them a kiss. This lost to inclinity, sharing punishment, so I denied God above. I rejoiced over my enemies' distress when these become excited about trouble his way. Have I not on my mouth to sing by asking for his life of curse? Have the members of my household said, who is this that they not had enough to eat at Joe's table? No stranger has spent the night on the street. Have I opened my door to traveler? Have I come to transgressions that other do? If by hiding my iniquity in the heart because I greatly feared the crowds and because the content of the clans terrified me. I grew so silent and did not go outside. If only I had someone to hear my case, that hears signature and let the Almighty answer me. When my opponent composed his incitement and cheerily carried my shoulder and wear out like a crown, I'd give him an account on all my stats. And I approach him like a prince, and if my land cries out against me, and I have furious joy and weeping, and if I have consumed its produce without payment, or shown consent for its tenement, then let thorns grow instead of stinkweed instead of barley. With the words, Job concluded. Chapter 32, 5th chapter, Elihu's angry response. These three men quit answering Job because he was righteous in his own eyes. Then Elihu, son of Barachel the Buzite from the family of Abraham, became angry. He was angry at Job because he had justified himself with the living God. Such anger Job's revenge because they had failed to refute him and yet condemned him. Now Elihu waited to speak with Job because they were older than he. But when he saw that hearing men could not answer, Job became angry. So Elihu, son of Barachel the Buzite, replied, I'm young in years while you are old. Therefore I'm timid and afraid to tell you what I know. I thought in my age speak and maturity should teach wisdom, but the spirit and person of the breath of the Almighty that gives you understanding is not only the old who are wise, but the elderly who understand how to judge. Therefore I say, listen to me. I too will declare what I know. Look, I waited for your conclusions. I listened to your insights and sought for your words. I paid close attention to you, and no one proved it wrong. No, not one of you refuted his arguments. So do not claim you have found wisdom. Let God deal with him. Not a man, but Job has not directed his argument to me, and I will not respond to him with your arguments. Job's friends are dismayed and can no longer answer words I have left them. Shall I continue to wait now that they are silent and that they stand and no longer answer? I too will answer yes. I will tell what I know, for I am full of words, and my spirit compels me to speak. My heart is like an unvented wine, it's about to burst. Like new wineskins, I must speak so I can find relief. I must open my lips and respond. I'll be personal, nor and not give anyone an undeserved title, for I do not know how to give such titles. Otherwise, my Maker would remove me in an instant. So that's all the reading I'm going to do for today. So it starts out in chapter 28, talking about a hymn to wisdom and Job's final claim instance, and that went on for a few chapters. And then eventually comes back till all the men just kind of got angry and they gave up on him. And so Elihu came and started talking about how all these people are maybe older than him, but they clearly aren't giving right answers on that. So how he's now gonna answer him. So yeah, that's all the stuff I got for today. So I hope you've had a great day so far. Have a great day today. Remember, God loves you, and goodbye.